Hi, my name is Caleb, and this is my Tableau project. And getting right into it, when I first pulled up this project and pulled up the data, the first thing I did was in the Excel spreadsheet, just uh, sorted by region and state, and just started to kind of look through the data. Saw there was, some different items that were kind of similar in nature, and then I looked at their sales and profit, and just, kind of looking through the data. The one thing that stuck out to me was that, it looked like right away that sales were falling year to year. So that's kind of got me interested, and that's the first direction I took. And one of the first metrics I pulled was just to kind of see overall sales. And sure enough, it was very obvious from this graph that sales were had declined in the past year and in very significantly, and only had 2 years of data, but I think for drops this significant, it can be a wake-up call. So I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and see if this is a nationwide problem, or if kind of different regions are affected more than not. And sure enough, with this line graph, I could easily see that you know I worked all the numbers on all four of these, and the percentage of sales that all four of them were over 30%. But the East in particular was the front runner, and it had a sales percentage drop of 40%. So that's what I decided to go after. And then from there, I made this interactive map, which let me see the sales year to year and state by state. And through this map, I could immediately see that the biggest markets on this side were New York and Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania in particular had the largest percentage drop of sales, and so I went with that state first to see if I could dig in a little bit and see what was going on more at a smaller level. So I put this up just to give me a little idea, like state by state, through the departments, and just kind of let me see this graph, whether it was kind of across the board or just one department. And it did seem like it was kind of spread out and not just one product in particular. So I got into Pennsylvania and pulled the different items. And, looking through this data, I kind of could group basically these four together were all bars, and they had fallen significantly. Um, Looks like facial tissues, they had stopped selling completely. And then I noticed this, it was a shampoo and a conditioner. Here had both fallen drastically. This one, this shampoo had stayed about the same. And then I noticed this Rogaine had stayed about the same, which you can never go broke selling products to bald men. And then, just kind of a standalone item. I really wanted to find out what was going on with these napkins here, because that was a huge seller with a very large profit margin, and it dropped off completely. So, Pennsylvania's a big state, really spread out. So I pulled the city by city, and this graph really told me a lot and kind of gave me some direction that, when we get into it, really we can say Pennsylvania, but the numbers say it's Philadelphia. And we're talking here, 60 million in sales down to 22 just by year to year. And sure, we're spread out a little bit in the state, but these just don't add up. So, I mean, this was kind of an indication that we could really focus all our efforts in Philadelphia. And then going to that, and then I pulled up the Philadelphia product sales, and it matched our other data pretty well, where the Rogaine's the same, but basically we got our sections here, and then a shampoo, conditioner, and our napkins. And I felt like that would be my suggestion to them, is that these we still have profit margins here that are positive, so it's worth it, I think, for a year or two to really focus our marketing efforts on building these brands back up, and to find out what's going on, whether it's a depression in the market, or if there's competitors that are stealing ours away, or if there's other products that are replacing all of these. But I felt like with this, the four different bars, you might have a marketing strategy to, a display with all four of these selling, and then kind of same thing, the shampoo, the conditioner, maybe run some coupons, And then, like I said, the napkins, of course, has got to be a huge focus, and find out what's going on with this, and why these sales have dropped so much in 1 year. And I think once you solve that, that's $1 million answer, and it can really be worthwhile somebody pulling this. And then I made this interactive map for the managers, basically, that once, hey, we got our Philly strategy, now we can start applying it to these other markets and these other big cities. And then hopefully, same thing, you could use this going state by state, clicking on this to find the biggest cities, to find our areas of focus. And then from there, obviously, we could model a map on the US as well. And then, I made a story for presentation, basically what I just told you. Um, to present to these higher ups, and just kind of to give them a full grasp of what's going on with the company, kind of how, we're basically narrowing everything down to find an exact problem, and then hopefully that'll give us an answer that we can apply out into the whole company. And, basically these, like I said, just kind of what I told you, and I put, basically little suggestions that I would give to the company when I was doing my presentation as well. And then, like I said, an interactive dashboard where they could, play around themselves and really get a feel for those numbers. But thank you very much, and thank you for listening, and have a wonderful night.